Hey everyone, this is Dee from CatalystEnergies. Thanks for joining me. I am truly grateful that you are here. It is December 10th, 2019, and this is your Daily Catalyst. All right, maybe I can potentially bring this chart up here. Okay, here we go. So we have a sun in Sagittarius today, as has been the case for quite a few weeks now. And as of 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, we have our moon in Gemini. So what I want to focus on today for this this daily catalyst is this configuration right here between Mercury, the moon, and Chiron, because this is going to give us a little sneak peek and preview about the full moon and how it relates to our original wound that is represented here by Chiron. So before the moon moves into Gemini today, she's still going to be in Taurus, which is very grounding still, very secure in our emotions. We're feeling good. We're feeling comfy. She likes to be in Taurus. This is a good, comfy place for her. So there is some comfort, like I say, comfortability, and there's some grounding. And so while that is happening, we are going to have this trine between Mercury and Chiron exact. And Mercury in Sagittarius is the energy of swift mental activity. It is upward, powerful, it is expansive. It could be thoughtless, it could be rash at times. You know, Sagittarius it's mutable fire, but it's still fire. And Mercury is it represents the movement of information, which is very quick. And so when Mercury is here, there is this potential aha moment and very swift mental activity that's expansive. There's an alchemizing of information that has come into some sort of understanding. So in the first 10 degrees, Mercury in Sagittarius does pretty well. Mercury actually rules this decan of Sagittarius in the Tarot, the Eight of Wands. It's as Mercury starts moving through Sagittarius that he becomes a little bit more debilitated, because there's just an expansiveness that keeps happening and happening, and there's not a lot of movement of information, but just an expansiveness of the medium from which it is able to travel. The thoughts and the mental energy is able to travel, but that's later. So right now we're focusing on this trine to Chiron in retrograde. Chiron is going to station direct on the same day as the full moon, and so he's been retrograde. It's been a more obvious energy. He's retrograde in Aries. That's the sign of the ego and the self, the masculine energy. It is cardinal fire. It is about initiation and action. And Chiron in this place has really been about that wound of the self and wound of the ego that we've really been like coming to terms with, because we have to really understand that before we can move forward. So the trine here is very harmonious. There's not a lot of necessity for anything to be added to get this harmony. So Mercury moving into this or being in Sagittarius can allow for some very, very swift but very expansive ideas and understandings around our Chiron wound. It could, if we are working with Chiron and understanding where our wounds are and looking towards what we can release, this can be a really good configuration. The moon, especially with the moon in Taurus, grounding us emotionally, there's a lot of potential here for some aha moments. Now, as the moon moves into Gemini throughout the day, she's going to also sextile Chiron, and that when we have a moon in Gemini, that's always that there's this indecisive, restless energy around how we feel, because Gemini is all about data collection. It is about the actual information itself. And so there's a curiosity, and so there's this desire to always want to accumulate more information, learn more, get all sides of some sort of story, never come to any conclusion about anything. And when you're collecting data, that's exactly what you want to be doing. So, but when we're talking about our feelings and our intuition and like what's going on internally, this could seem fickle in some ways. And so like people with moon in Gemini can seem fickle and can seem incredibly social, but also can seem incredibly moody. So having this transit happening right now can really lead us to feeling indecisive and to feeling maybe curious about how we feel, about what we're intuiting, like what's going on internally, but not really willing to come to any conclusions. And this is, we're collecting more data about how we feel. Now, having a sextile to Chiron is a harmonious aspect that really does need some sort of activation. It needs our attention in some way. And so rather, Mercury is drawing us with this, trying to come to a conclusion, to synthesize, to understand what's going on with Chiron. And that's all in our minds. But right here, in terms of how we feel, what's going on the inside, our intuition, there's an opportunity to really collect some more data and to pay attention to what is going on the inside in terms of how we think about these things and our Chiron wound. And so this is an element that leads us to not be so hasty and to collect as much data as possible. Now, we have an opposition between the moon and Gemini to Mercury and Sagittarius, and an opposition always seems to demand some sort of balance point between the opposing energies. So the moon is in data collection. Mercury already feels like he has it figured out and he's expanding into the big picture. So there is a need to balance this right here in the middle. This is also going to give us an idea of like what it's going to feel like once the moon moves over into 20 degrees of Gemini and opposes the sun for the full moon. Now the sun is the full expression of who we are. It's the collective yang energy, like who we're collectively here to be, like what is our highest expression of ourselves, and being in opposition to this moon in Gemini that is still collecting information, isn't quite ready to come to any conclusions about anything, and is just gathering and gathering and gathering information. And the sun is just like, no, I already gathered enough information. I'm just trying to put it all together and alchemize it now. So you can see where this could really have us feeling like we can't really move forward potentially. So, and then Chiron stations direct right after that, and then things are going to really be moving forward around this wounding. And so today I would really recommend just really aligning with the moon in Gemini to gather as much information as you can. It's okay that you don't have you're not coming to any conclusions. Mercury's really going to drive us to come to some understanding, and really feels like he does have an understanding, and so does the sun. Feels like that it's like the big picture. I totally get it. But the moon here is still pulling us down into ourselves and giving us an opportunity to really gather some more information about this wound here and what that really actually means, and what is it that we are holding on to, and what is it that we are ready to surrender in order to heal and to truly release into our best selves. So I'm going to talk way more about this in detail with the full moon report, which is coming very soon. If you're interested in any of my services, you can check out the description box below, and it has everything in there in order to contact me, to check out my social media presence, and see what CatalystEnergies is all about. I really appreciate you taking the time to stop by and check this out, and I will see you on the next video.